All right, the second video I ever made was a video about making cheesy cauliflower muffins. Well, today I'm gonna remake that recipe again, but rather than using broccoli this time, I'm just going to use bacon. So this is a recipe that comes from the Doctor Gundry cookbook. I guess you could say it's keto friendly, but we're gonna get into making it, and I'm gonna show you exactly how it's done. I'm Teddy, and this is the Food and Drink Chronicles. All right, so currently right now I got bacon cooking in the background because I do want bacon in this recipe. I want to make sure that it gets nice and dark and crispy because it's going to be incorporated into the muffins. You do have to fully cook it, otherwise it's not going to be as good. All right, but starting off, we do have a hex-clad pan. This hex-clad pan is pretty massive. So this is the one that actually came with the set that we got. I do have an induction cooktop. So we're gonna be using that as well, so that way I can film it easier because the stove is kind of in an odd position. But starting off, we do have some cauliflower rice cauliflower that I got from Costco. We're gonna start with that. And in the Gundry cookbook, it does say to use olive oil, but I'm gonna be using avocado oil instead. I just think it cooks at a higher temperature. It's pretty good stuff too. Induction oven is on. There we go. All right, I'm gonna put it at 1600. I mean, you do want to get it nice and hot. This induction oven, well, this induction cooktop is a little bit loud, so hopefully it's not draining out too much sound. But right now, I'm gonna let it heat up for a little bit, and then we're gonna add the oil to it, and then the rice cauliflower. The bacon, you're probably wondering why on the hex-clad. I actually like the way that it cooks on the hex-clad because I've used air fryers before, and I think air fryer does a great job, but you end up getting a bunch of like grease and fat at the bottom. You got to clean it out. It's a little bit harder to clean, but with this, you can just dump the grease into the trash can and then clean it pretty easily. It actually doesn't take that much time. Whereas with an air fryer, you got to clean the freaking grate thing. You got to clean the box. You put it in the washer and all that. But then if you want to cook something else, heck, it might be good because you have a lot of bacon grease, but it's just not what I prefer. Maybe you prefer that, and that's perfectly fine. But right now I'm gonna flip my bacon. The bacon that I'm cooking with is a smoked applewood uncured bacon. It's healthier than regular bacon. Don't ask me how, it just is. That's just according to the Dr. Gundry cookbook, is that you can get uncured bacon instead of cured bacon. All right, so this cooktop is pretty good and hot. I think I need to drop the temperature down a little bit. So I'm gonna drop it down to 1,200. First, I'm gonna add a pretty good dollop of oil. Well, not a dollop, just a bunch of oil. All right, now I gotta get my bags ready. So I'm gonna get my kitchen scissors out. If I have any. Kitchen scissors, where'd you go? All right, so for this recipe, I'm actually gonna be using 2 pounds of cauliflower rice. Now, it does say to use, I believe it's like 4 cups in the cookbook, or 3 cups in the cookbook, but I'm doubling it up. So it's not exactly like the cookbook. It's gonna be a little bit different. I'm doing things a little bit differently, like I'm doubling the recipe, I'm adding bacon. Probably isn't too good for you, so if you have any kind of a condition that prevents you from eating bacon, because I know even uncured bacon can still be bad for you, then maybe skip out on the bacon. All right, and then it's gonna mix all this in. And it is a lot of rice. A lot of rice cauliflower. This induction oven is heating up really, really quickly though. And this is what all of the rice looks like in here. The package was frozen, but I did leave it out for a little bit. So you may see clumps that are kind of frozen, but not too frozen. The cookbook did say to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I used avocado oil, and I probably used about 3 tablespoons because it takes a lot to get this properly heated. Okay, so while that's doing its thing, I'm gonna add a half a teaspoon of salt, iodized sea salt preferably. I'm going to use half a teaspoon of garlic powder. All right, so half a teaspoon of paprika. And a full teaspoon of basil. All right, now we just gotta incorporate all of that in there. The thing is that you want your rice to turn kind of like a orange-red color rather than it being completely white. And one thing I do like about the cauliflower rice is that it's already ground up. Certainly you can take your own head of cauliflower and cut off the stems and do the top of it and put it into a food processor. That's another option as well if for some reason you can't get cauliflower rice. But cauliflower rice, I mean, you can find it in most stores, H-E-B, probably Kroger, Safeway, wherever it is that you go to. I'm sure you can find cauliflower rice there. All right, we need to check on our bacon. All right, bacon. That bacon looks amazing. We'll bring it in a little bit, let it all get nice and cooked. All right, I'm gonna quickly check to see if the rice is fully cooked. I believe it is though. It's pretty well cooked. I'm gonna continue mixing it again just to make sure that I get every piece of rice coated in some kind of spice. Because believe me, you do not want to miscoating it. You don't want to miscoat it. All right, I do recommend using a porcelain bowl because if you use a metal bowl, it's going to conduct some kind of heat. So what you want to do is you want to take your rice, you want to transfer it into here, and what that's going to do is that's going to allow the rice to cool down a little bit, because if you start adding eggs into the rice, you're going to get fried rice. I think I said that in my last video, so you got to check out that video if you haven't seen it, but this is a little bit of an upgrade here. All right, so we're just going to add all this rice into here. And believe me, it is a lot. All right, at this point, that's pretty much all the cooking that you have to do. The rest is all prepping as this thing cools down. All right, so while I was waiting for the cauliflower to cool down, I started grating my Parmigiano-Reggiano, and I actually use the finer part of the grater. So when you grate it, you're gonna wanna use this side, not the thick side, okay? Because you wanna make sure your cheese incorporates very well into that mixture. Now, if you don't wanna grate your cheese, you can actually get the container at Costco that's already shredded, but I just grated it myself because it's a pretty easy process. It doesn't take that much time at all. You only need 1 cup if you're doubling up this recipe. All right, I'm gonna check on this to see if it's still warm. I can still kind of feel a little bit of heat on there. Definitely not cooled down yet. But if I start incorporating things into it, it might actually kind of cool it down. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a cup of cheese and I'm gonna put that in there right now. Because what that's gonna do is that's gonna help cool it down a bit more. Now, since we've already reached this process to where it's in the process of cooling down, it's almost there. It's pretty much kind of halfway there to where you can add the egg. What I want to do is I want to start my oven. All right, so coming over here to the oven, I'm going to put it on bake. I'm going to preheat at 375 and start. All right, now it's preheating. All right, and back to my bowl. I'm going to add the 1 cup of Parmigiano-Reggiano into it. And give it a good mix. So one of the reasons why I'm making this video again is because I kind of wanted to showcase how awesome this really is. I mean, this is a really good meal. This is great for prepping. And I feel like maybe the first time I made the video, it could have been a little bit better. Could have been produced a little bit better. So now I'm trying to produce it in a much higher quality. All right, anyways, what I want to do now is I want to add bacon to it, and it's still pretty warm, so definitely cannot add any eggs to it, but I'm gonna get some bacon here, and my bacon is a little bit crispy, but I guess it'll make it easier to break it up. Oh yeah, it's falling apart. So maybe I won't have to chop it up. Maybe I can just break it up in little pieces and dump it in here. And the bacon does enhance the flavor by quite a bit. Makes it so good. If you're making just cauliflower muffins and you're not adding things in it, it might be a little kind of boring to eat. So that's why I like adding the bacon to it. All right, now I'm gonna mix that bacon into my bowl. Maybe crunch it up a little bit as I mix it up. But you want pretty small pieces incorporated in there. You don't want big chunks, you just want little chunks. You know, think like bacon bits. Now, I don't know if they make uncured bacon bits. Maybe that'd be a little bit easier. Go to the store and buy some uncured bacon bits. But I just like to make my own. I think it's pretty cool. That feels like it's starting to get cooler, but now what I want to do is I want to prep the cassava flour. So that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so to prep the cassava flour, you're just gonna take a cup of cassava flour and you're gonna take a teaspoon of aluminum-free baking powder. In this case, I think it's just baking powder. I don't think it's aluminum-free, but you can use aluminum-free and you can use regular baking powder as well. All right, so in a very small mixing bowl, I'm gonna open up my flour and going to add a cup of flour. Don't be afraid to get it on the counter. It's perfectly fine. I'd say it's about a cup right there. Yeah. All right. Now we're gonna add about a teaspoon of baking powder. There we go. Give that a little mix. Just in case you're wondering about the cassava flour, the ingredients in this is cassava root flour. So there's nothing else in it. The cassava flour is made from peeling, drying, and grinding the cassava plant root. This flour works as a great gluten-free replacement to wheat flour, as well as a perfect thickener for soups and sauces. This is great stuff. Actually, I do eat cassava flour tortillas. Those are pretty good, and I use it for these muffins. That's mostly what I use it for, but I like cassava flour. All right, so now I'm gonna take my mixture, I'm gonna pour it into here. Now they say fold the ingredients. I didn't know how to fold in, I still don't know how to fold. I just mix the ingredients. All right, I think it's ready. It definitely feels cooler, it's not hot. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna get your muffin trays out and your muffin holders. Some muffin holders? Cupcake holders? Cupcake holders. I guess you could just call them baking cups. So there are two different sizes. There's these mini ones and there's this is the regular culinary size. Is that what it says? 60 culinary parchment large baking cups and 90 culinary parchment baking mini cups. Go with this one. It definitely makes, you know, like a bigger meal out of it. Now I will have about 2 muffins whenever I make these. I think if I was to use these, I would have to make 4 per meal. So 2 per meal, 4 per meal. So I'm doing 4 days worth. So let's see, 4 days worth for 2 people. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Okay, so the muffin tins are ready, but I still gotta add the eggs. Now let's check to see how cool this is first. Definitely feels cool to the touch. I think I can go ahead and go with my eggs. So again, pasture-raised eggs, I'm going with 6 of them. All right, let's see what 6 does. And if you have to add more, you can add more, because you basically wanna make sure that the consistency is a little bit, I guess maybe runny's the word, but it can't be like too moisturized. You don't want that, and you don't want it to be dry. If it's dry, you definitely got to add more eggs. I'm gonna start off with 6 eggs and see what that does, especially considering all the cassava flour that we used. So who knows, I may have to bump it up to 8, but right now I'm just gonna try 6 and see what that looks like. All right, giving it a good old mix. You definitely want to make sure it all gets incorporated into this. All right, you really got to get it good and mixed in there. This is actually looking pretty good. So I think 6 eggs was actually what I needed. I think this is going to be consistent enough. So I'm going to add it into my parchment paper. But there is one more thing that I do not want to forget, because I think I forgot it whenever I made my second video ever, and that was I forgot to add the sriracha paste. So you need a dollop of sriracha paste, and I'm gonna go grab that right now. That's what that looks like when it's in there. I'm just gonna mix it all in. As you can see, the consistency is perfect for adding your mix into the parchment cup holders. All right, let's start adding it into our parchment holders. Now you're gonna wanna use a spoon to put this in. Don't use a flat utensil because it's gonna be hard to put the mixture into the parchment holders. You wanna make sure it gets nice and kind of compact in there. It's gonna expand a little bit because of that baking powder. All right, they're ready to put in the oven. Actually, I got a perfect amount. I got one extra one as well, so we can try it out once I'm done baking these. Now, they're gonna take about 25 minutes to cook, and if they soak like they need a little bit more time, you can add a couple more minutes, but that should be all you need. So 25, 26, 27 minutes will get you there. And then they're really great. These are for 2 people, and these will last for 4 days. I'm happy with this, so we're gonna bake it. All right, now I gotta go ahead and clean up, but I wanna leave you guys with the recipe right here and all the ingredients that you need. So thank you for getting this far through the video. If you like the video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. We do more than just cooking. We actually do travel videos where we go to theme parks and we do cruises as well. But sometimes I like to drop in and do a cooking video or a cocktail video as well. But thank you for watching, guys. Please subscribe, and let's wait for these muffins to cook and I'll bring them out to you. Oh yeah, these muffins look like they're ready. All right, well, the muffins are ready, but we're gonna wait for them to cool down and we'll give them a try. All right, so that's done. They look good, and I'm gonna give one a try right now. All right, so let's cut into it and see what it looks like. Ooh, that looks good. All right, let's give it a try. And they're nice and warm. I mean, look at that. That is perfection. There's a slight crunch on the top. I think it might be the bacon. Definitely very soft in the inside, and very fluffy. So usually, I think whenever I make this, I only do half a cup of cassava. I usually don't do a full cup. I think that full cup really changes everything. It makes it more of a softer meal. It's really good. You can't really taste the sriracha paste that much. You can definitely taste the egg within it. The cauliflower is not even really that much. Well, the flavor of the cauliflower is not really there. I can taste the paprika, I can taste the garlic, I can taste the cheese. That Parmigiano-Reggiano is so good in this. This is awesome. And everything just combines really well. This is such a good meal. All right, I'm gonna leave my recipe in the description below. If you guys like the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one. Food and Drink Chronicles out. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm making cauliflower cheesy muffins. I'm making them from the Plant Paradox cookbook. Let's do this. Okay, so now these are ready to pop into the oven. All right, so that's it. They're done, and they look pretty good. I'm gonna give one a try. See if it's tasty. Got some cauliflower in there, some bacon, and I mean it's all mixed in really, really